Hi there. Yes, that is right. We are back at it again, lads and lasses. We are doing another army video. Kind of. This is not your conventional army, if you can't tell. This is a wolf army. It's also going to morph into a warg army, a dog army, etc., etc. You know, now that I think about it, really, is it an army if it's just a bunch of animals? It's more like we're kind of like a hound master of sorts. An animal whisperer, if you will. Nobody gives a shit, though. Army, a bunch of wolves, hound whisperer, whatever. Let's kill something, for God's sake. Hurrah! A worthy opponent. Sick 'em, boys! Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. Maybe we need a bigger target. And of course it was at this point I realized that our character should probably actually ride one of the wolves, as if he's actually one of them or he's their master, and it would keep him safe. Now of course, like I was saying, we do need to find a much bigger target. It's going to be a waste of, well, wolf power if we just constantly kill rats. So I seen a herd of muffalo across the river, and we began trotting across, well, dog paddling across. We rode our wet, white, beautiful wolf Hanson across the river all the way to where the muffalo were, and then we engaged with them. Hanson would deal the first bite upon the ass of the muffalo, and then the other wolves would join in. It was a real feeding frenzy of sorts. You may be shocked to know this, but an army of wolves could quickly and easily take out singular muffalos. But I now pondered the question, what in God's name could be stronger than these docile herbivores? Yes, I know just the thing to fight. What if we fought a de-evolved Homo sapien, a Neanderthal of sorts? Perfect. We would fight a raid of Neanderthals. Yes, oh yes, it would be the best practice raid that we could do to just kind of, get a feel for it and get our bearings for battling with our wolves. These Neanderthals would be slaughtered easily by our wolves, right? Well, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but Neanderthals are a little bit tougher than their soft, squishy, bigger brain having Homo sapien counterparts, apparently. So unfortunately, as you can see, and most likely hear, we began losing wolves left and right. I suppose this is why wolves evolved to become dogs, man's best friend. It was either that, or they would get the absolute shit beat out of them and they would die and become dinner. Actually, Rat Knight, the reason that they evolved is so they would have a coexist. Well, why don't you just shut up with your stupid science and facts? It's just a video game, okay? Let's just play the game with a wolf army. Now that all our wolves were dead, I decided that I didn't like that, and I decided to begin resurrecting them with my magical spooky powers, so we could try again. And try again we would, but I thought to myself, simply resurrecting the wolves, no, this would not be good enough. We needed more. We needed something better. So, we decided to do something better. I spawned in the very best plate armor that I could for my precious little wolfy babies, and I also gave our character a plasteel spear and some golden armor. Surely this armored up wolves, just armed to the teeth with iron or chainmail type of armor and a plasteel spear and whatnot, surely this would be good enough to defeat those filthy Neanderthals, right? Well, you would think so, but if you thought that, you are absolutely stupid. I'm joking, you're not stupid, you're a good boy, and you're very kind and sweet, and you have beautiful eyes. But anyhow, you are still extremely wrong. Even with all this, it would seem that our wolves were still getting their asses kicked by the Neanderthals. Yes, they were doing quite a bit better, but, they were still getting beat. A big part of the downfall this time around was that a lot of the wolves were bonded to our main character, so when he basically immediately died to the spear of a Neanderthal, some of the wolves kind of went berserk and they actually started fighting each other, which really sucks. So a bit of a civil war among the wolves. I resurrected our main character guy here though, that way we could torture him a little bit more. But this time it would be slightly less torturous, as instead of using normal wolves, we decided to go with wargs. Now a warg is a wolf, and I won't hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it because I googled it, and take a look at this. How you like that, huh? How you like them apples? You can't argue with Google, so don't even try. Rat Night, Google. Both of us correct. I'm moving my hands as if you can see the hierarchy that I'm building. But anyhow, yeah, a warg is a wolf, so we're going to have a warg army, and yeah, we're going to see if it does any better than normal wolves. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, they're going to do at least a little bit better because I did get them some power armor and power armor helmets to wear around. Now, Rat Night, why wouldn't you do that for the wolves? Well, I tried, dear viewer, but for whatever reason, the wolves won't wear power armor or flak armor, only plate armor. I believe the dogs are the same, which is very strange, but I don't know, I'm doing my best. I just be out here trying to live my best life, you know what's up. Anyhow though, let's see how the wargs do against the Neanderthals. Now you already know that a warg is going to do a little bit better, one for the power armor, and then two because it's about the size of a wolf's daddy, and also because I gave our character a minigun. I just kind of felt like he wasn't really pulling his weight around here, and I wanted him to be useful to the team, to really get in the nitty-gritty and dirty with his wolves. And it did help out a little bit, so instead of just standing there with his thumb up his ass, he actually started firing at them as they crossed the river. He hurt some of them, but really the battle truly began when the wargs took off towards them, and they look really badass in that power armor, I must say. Now this time around, having an army of massive warg wolves, essentially, wearing nothing but power armor, spoiler, it went quite a bit better than the previous two attempts, but unfortunately we did end up having at least one casualty of a warg, and then we ended up losing another one. But hey, look, we lost two big souped up power armor wielding wargs, and they lost basically an entire tribe of people and battle animals that they had brought with them, so I thought it was a pretty fair exchange. But I got the feeling that wargs like this might be a little too overpowered, so we should really play with man's true best friends, the dogs. We had a bunch of Labrador retrievers and a few hundred or so Yorkshire terriers, and we were going to see how they done. I wanted to start them out without any armor at all, just to see how they would do, and really I don't think the Yorkshire Terriers could wear any armor at all, so, you know, it's a little bit racist towards them if you ask me, the mods that we're using here, but whatever, I guess. It was really interesting to see our main character, who I'm going to start calling In from here on out because I didn't pay attention to his name. He wasn't really the main show here. It was the dogs and the wolves, right? But you couldn't really see him in this entire flood of dogs that was around him. But that was okay though, because given our track record, with this raid, I would say a lot of them are going to go to doggy heaven. So as the raiders marched towards us, our massive army of dogs began marching towards them in nothing but a sea of white names. It's basically all you could see in a blur of animals. And this really had me missing the wargs, to be honest with you, because when you released the Labradors, or at least when I done it, they didn't really do near as well as the wargs. They're, I don't know, really uncoordinated or something. It's almost like you do that and they don't attack, they just kind of hover around you for some reason, while the wargs are like this massive sea of power armor that just came at them. Regardless though, we ended up killing enough of them that they fled. You know what, actually scratch that, I went back and watched the footage, and it's not because we killed enough of them, it's because they killed enough of our dogs that they felt that they could leave now. How gracious of them. But it's time to kick it up a notch. We've tried wargs, we've tried wolves, we've tried Labrador retrievers, and Yorkshire Terriers, which really sucked. But you know what we haven't tried? Huskies, and we haven't tried foxes. So I got a bunch of those. I also laid out a massive thing of power armor, and the only things that were willing to wear it were the foxes, unfortunately. The dogs and wolves would wear plate armor, though. I gotta say, though, that the foxes looked really badass in their little power armor. If we ever do any upcoming series or anything where we have any pet foxes, and we have, you know, the animal, I believe it's animal equipment or gear or whatever mod here, it's going to be awesome to have some animals like foxes and whatnot in power armor, because they're actually really strong with stuff like that on, in terms of, like, the damage they take. But good God, all we've done this entire video is fight off a bunch of Neanderthals. I'm so sick of fighting Neanderthals. Let's take it one notch up. There's Neanderthals, and just slightly above them, mechanoids. So let's have a massive mechanoid raid. Can our wolves, dogs, foxes, etc., fight off a massive group of mechanoids? No, obviously they can't. What are you, stupid? Why? I don't understand why I have to keep explaining this to you. Obviously they can't. They couldn't even fight off a bunch of Neanderthals, for God's sake. However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to put ourselves and all of our animals through the strenuous and very difficult task of attempting to. I don't care how many foxes and dogs and wolves and wargs, etc., etc. I have to throw at these damn dirty mechanoids. We are going to win this battle. I'm not going to lie to you either. For a minute there, I really, truly thought that we might stand a chance at defeating the mechanoids. I had seen several of them fall to our fox army. But unfortunately, it turns out I was extremely wrong. We hadn't really defeated that many at all. Truthfully, they were all cultivating together in the river, and there were a lot of them left. And of course, this was extremely heartbreaking to me. At this point, I kind of gave up on the dream that, we were actually going to defeat this massive group of mechanoids. This giant clump of them was just eradicating every single animal that came near us. This could also be a video about an army of mechanoids, except it's not my army of mechanoids. Now, our main guy here, he hadn't gave up on hope until, well, one of the mechanoids headshot him off of his Husky. Then, I have a feeling his ambitions were a bit extinguished, if you will. And with his ambitions were my hopes and dreams of becoming a RimWorld wolf army / husky army / Labrador retriever army / Yorkshire terrier. I think you get the point. So, unfortunately, this is what it was like to have a massive army of animals. I'm probably doing something wrong in terms of having them release and kill all the enemies. So, it's probably my fault, but we won't talk about that. Don't worry about that part. But guys, I would like to thank you all ever so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope this video has tickled your little fancies, just a little bit, just a tiny little tickle. But I hope you guys have a more than wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.